Well, my film is called Seaside Special, and it's a documentary about not just the Cromer End of the Pier show, but also the town of Cromer. I mean, basically, it's a film about the show that takes place in this theatre, and this theatre is on this pier, and the pier is in Cromer. Cromer's in Norfolk. Norfolk's in England. England's in the United Kingdom, and the United Kingdom is in Europe, whichever way you look at it. And all of that is in my film, but centred around this really, really unique place and this really unique show, because there really isn't anything else like it anywhere else in Europe. So this documentary is of the subgenre of in-laws films, because it was my in-laws who dragged me here, you know, a good 10 years ago, and they were on holiday in Cromer in their caravan, and they invited us to see the Seaside Special. We were all thinking, sure. I'm from Berlin, Germany. I didn't quite know what to expect, but I can tell you it took me 10 minutes and I'd completely fallen in love with this show. And I bought the souvenir program that year, and I put it on my desk, and was on my desk for a good 10 years, with me saying one day I'll make a film about this. And 2019, the last year before the pandemic, was the time to make that film. So that's what this is. No, so before actually embarking on making the film, I'd been here on holiday a few times since then, and both in the summer and the winter, and seen the Christmas show, and you know, rented a cottage. So I'd been to see the show a few times since then, and then started seeing it with an eye of how do they put it together. For me, one of the magic things was to be able to cross from here, the auditorium, through that door down there and go backstage. And of course that was only possible once I asked for permission to make this film. So I did have an idea of what Cromer was like, and you know, it's not the biggest seaside resort in the world, but it's a really unique one, and I slowly but surely had fallen in love with it. So I sort of knew what to expect on the one hand, and on the other hand, how do you actually make a show like this? But also, you know, what's crab fishing like? And you know, one of the treats was I was taking up the clock tower in the church by the mayor in that year. You know, there's so much to discover as well, which is all in the film. And at the same time, this is not Disneyland. This is a real town. It was a year of politics in Britain, Brexit. For me, as a fellow European, that was quite a challenging year, or moving year for all of us. So it's not just a long holiday. It was also a chance to experience what's going on in Britain at that time, but also the chance to see from the beginnings, first rehearsals, opening night, carnival, closing night of the show. How does it work? And there's no other show like it in the world, and so that's really, really, really fascinating and frankly magic. Where it just had its first premiere because of the pandemic, it was pushed back and pushed back, and for me, we shot this film on film because it seemed like the right thing to do, to sort of capture, keep using that word, but there is a certain magic about this location, and the sense of humor, the dancing, the light that this show has, and this town has, you know, when the sun goes up and the sun goes down. So it was shot on film, and it could only be shown on film and premiered on film. We actually had a film print, and that was only last week. And I tell you what, people are really intrigued on the continent. They love British humour anyway. They love English seaside feeling. They've probably never been to a place like Cromer. I think they might be coming now. But that's the easy bit. People are also bewildered as to why are we being kind of ripped apart a little bit with all this Brexit stuff going on. And then they realise, you know, but we're still all here. You know, you can still come to Cromer and see the Seaside Special. And I think some people will be coming because they kind of liked what they saw. Well, it's really early days, but the next opportunity will be here in this theatre. We're going to do a special one-off screening with many of the protagonists and many of the people from the town of Cromer in the theatre on the 19th of December, after a Christmas matinee of the show. And the whole thing will be hosted by Holiday and myself, so that's when to come and see it, on the big screen here at the end of the Pier Theatre, 19th of December, 7 o'clock. This year. Come and see it.